Hello, friends and family of the internet. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Samantha, and I am going to have this conversation with you. Look, folks, welcome to America. Welcome to a country that has a constitution that allows you to be an individual and would really help if all of you would drop your tribalism at the door when you enter. What do I mean? I mean that you do not have to identify as Black. You don't have to identify as Latino. You don't have to identify as African. You can identify as American. It literally allows all of us to be on equal footing. That's what made America great, and that's what we're encouraging you to do today. You don't have to be a Democrat. You don't have to be a Republican. You don't have to be a Nazi. You don't have to hate other people because they don't look identical to you and then claim they hate you. America has always been great because even though the pendulum will swing hard left, eventually that will swing back hard right. Somehow we always land dead center. Being an individual allows you to be unique. Unique in the way that God created you. Lovingly, uniquely, wonderfully, and fearfully made in the image of the Most High King. You can come to America from a third world and end up being a millionaire. You can be an American who was born to parents addicted to drugs, raised with DHS, come from the ghetto or even the suburbs and end up being president. So be an individual today. Break the mold. Stop being brainwashed, low IQ people who identify by your tribalism. The reason tribalism doesn't work, has never worked, in countries who have the authoritarian, nationalistic view of tribalism are always third world countries, or their countries don't last long, is because it doesn't work for the collective. The thing is if you identify as anything other than just I'm an American, you're the problem. And here's another thing, folks. You don't like borders? Well, let me ask you this. How about I come to your house, prop my feet up, don't work, eat your food, sleep in your bed, and just do whatever the hell I want to inside your home? You'd have a problem with that, right? Then you'd call the police, correct? Well, that's kind of how the average American feels about undocumented illegal aliens. See, right now in America, 20% of the people in this country aren't supposed to be here. 1 out of 5 employees are not American. Just imagine, and just listen to me. If all of a sudden all those job positions were available for Americans, you would have a vacuum. You essentially would have jobs competing for employees because there wouldn't be enough employees. You would see better benefits. You would see higher raises. You would see your wages go through the roof. You would see the price of goods go down. But the opposite is happening in America, and that is because we are flooded with people who are living off the system, working jobs like McDonald's to raise a family on, and they don't seem to understand that they're cutting their own throats. So if you want to have a better life, great, come to America legally. Wait it out. If it takes you 10 years to get here, there's a reason for the wait. But for all of you who jump the line because you think you have a right to be here, for all of you who believe that somehow the Southwest belongs to Mexico, let me make this clear to you. Most of us Americans just cannot wait for Donald Trump to and send ICE in. See, they want you to believe that people who don't want illegal, undocumented people in America are racist. But really, let me educate you for a moment. See, the way we give congressional seats in America is based on population. The Census Bureau counts every human person in an area, and every few years that changes congressional areas. In other words, the people who make the laws that the rest of Americans, legal citizens, live by are now being governed by people who are undocumented. So what is that going to mean? What is going to happen is these areas that have predominantly large, illegal, undocumented aliens in them are going to see more congressional seats. So when things are voted for, like stronger immigration laws, like punishing criminals for doing things in this country, all of that is going to be changed. And it's slowly going to make America a one-party system. Now, you might think that's amazing, but you're missing the bigger point. Everybody in America has a voice. Even you guys out there rioting on the streets, calling those protests peaceful, you have a voice in America because the Constitution allows you to. But what if, let's say, Republicans flood America with about 20 million white immigrants from white countries that we're going to get to vote Republican, and then we change the congressional seats in our states and then outnumber you guys in Congress, eventually turning America Republican in a one-party state. You see how that could be a problem, right? America is not known as the melting pot. That is just propaganda that you've been taught in public school. Up until about 25 to 30 years ago, America was known as America. We did not have identity politics. We weren't considered a melting pot. We were considered Americans with American culture that we were very proud of. But now all of a sudden, people think because they've got someone in their family that's Latino, or someone in their family that's Filipino, or somebody in their family that's Cuban, or somebody in their family that's German, that it makes them something that they're not. Because if all of those countries were so amazing, why aren't you there? And if you identify with those people and their culture so much, why not just move home? So you can put out the calls for everybody to mobilize, no kings, hands off, blue bracelet. For you people who are tribalism and believe in that mentality, it's because you don't have a unique identity. You can't see yourself as an individual. Everything that happens to you, you blame it on somebody else. You blame every bad thing that's ever happened to you in your life on the fact that you're a certain color or a certain gender or a certain sexual identity. You don't understand that maybe some of the things that happen to you is because you have a really crappy attitude. So for the ones of you that are still here, still rowing in the boat, we are going to have a Zoom June 13th at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. That's p.m. in the evening. To be on that Zoom, you have to get our newsletter. To get our newsletter, look at the top of comments. It tells you how much it is and how to send it. I really pray some of you will come. Listen, we're going to tell you how to protect yourself, what your rights are as an American citizen, and we're going to explain to you what's actually happening in this country and how you can be prepared for the future. Otherwise, God bless America. Love you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And some of you may or may not know this, but what we're going through right now is called the Purple Revolution. It's funded by Soros and many others, the CCP and all these Democrat socialist groups and multi-billionaires that want to keep you on the plantation because, see, you're not an individual. You can't think as an individual. You have no individual goals or individual self. You are tribal. Your IQ is low, your emotions are high, and your ability to think outside of the box is non-existent at this point. So what is going to happen is you're going to see Democrat politicians parading their purple clothing as a signal to the Purple Revolution to overthrow the United States, and yet another color revolution brought to you by Deep State and the CIA.